Welcome everyone to The Explainer. So right now, as of late August 2026, the United States is facing an absolutely staggering logistical and environmental nightmare. I mean, the nation is truly engulfed in a wildfire crisis of historic proportions. Today, we're going to take a journey together. We're going to start way up at a macro-level view of the entire country and then zoom all the way down into the micro-level battlegrounds in a few specific states. We'll look at the raw data, the crazy weather patterns driving it, and the sheer scale of the human response required to fight an emergency like this.
Okay, let's dive into this. Consider this agenda our flight plan, as we try to make sense of the chaos of 93 uncontained fires burning right now. We'll hit 5 key points. 1. The Level 5 national crisis. 2. The weather fueling it all. 3. The siege in the Pacific Northwest. 4. The expanding fires in the Great Basin. And finally, 5. The massive logistical response.
Section 1. Level 5 National Wildfire Crisis.
That number right there? 5. In the world of wildland firefighting, hitting preparedness level 5 carries immense gravity. It dictates exactly how every single resource in the entire country is managed. And honestly, it really sets the dramatic tension for everything we're about to talk about today.
So what does that actually mean? Well, preparedness level 5 is literally the absolute highest echelon of national wildland fire coordination. It means that national firefighting resources are entirely maxed out and fully committed. What's kind of wild is that the initial attack activity across the country yesterday was technically considered light, with just 148 new fires reported nationwide. But because the whole system is already at level 5, even with a lighter day of new sparks, the personnel and equipment are already pushed to their absolute limits fighting what's currently burning.
And this is exactly what they are fighting. 93 completely uncontained large fires across the United States. And remember those new ignitions I just mentioned? Out of those, 14 brand new large incidents emerged just yesterday alone. Firefighters are constantly having to play catch-up against this shifting, massive map of uncontained incidents. To give you a sense of the macro scale here, so far in 2026, firefighters have responded to over 51,000 individual fireflies. Together, they've scorched nearly 8 million acres across the country. Just to put that astronomical number into perspective, that is an area larger than the entire state of Maryland just gone. And to understand how we got here, we actually have to look up at the sky.
Section 2. Weather. Fueling the flames.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact 4-step weather recipe that is causing these intense, high-risk conditions, especially from Idaho down through the northern Great Basin and into the inland Pacific Northwest. First off, meager moisture. The landscape is just totally parched. Second, temperatures are sitting a solid 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. Third, you mix in scattered wet and dry thunderstorms, which means lightning strikes without enough rain to actually put them out. And finally, you add breezy westerly winds gusting at 25 to 35 miles per hour, combined with critically low relative humidity of just 10 to 20%. It's basically a textbook recipe for severe fire potential.
But you know what's absolutely crucial to understand is that this heat is not distributed evenly at all. On the coast, cities like Seattle and Portland are basically coastal havens right now. Mostly cloudy, comfortable highs around 78 to 82 degrees, but look inland. Phoenix is sweltering at a very hot 116 degrees, Las Vegas is hitting 110, and Fresno is sitting at 103. This geographic divide is the smoking gun for why the interior west is burning at record rates while the coasts are mostly spared.
Section 3. Pacific Northwest under siege.
Now, zooming into our first micro-battleground. Washington and Oregon are currently managing 33 uncontained large fires right now at Prep Level 5. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it shows these aren't just normal wildfires in Washington, they are true mega-fires. Look at the Sinlahican fire near Tonasket, over 155,000 acres and only 56% contained. The Little Giant fire in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest has burned over 147,000 acres with just 23% containment. Even the Kaiser Canyon fire, which is thankfully 98% contained, scorched a massive 138,000 acres. But it's not just the size, it's the sheer, terrifying behavior of these fires.
When you read the incident reports from the ground for Sinlahican and Little Giant, crews specifically note uphill runs and this terrifying phenomenon called group torching. That's extreme fire behavior where entire clusters of trees essentially just burst into flames all at once. The fire isn't just crawling along the brush on the ground, it's moving rapidly from canopy to canopy. It makes the situation incredibly dangerous and almost impossible to control with traditional direct attack methods.
And the situation is just as monumental right next door in Oregon. The Big Grass Fire, sitting southwest of Jordan Valley, spans an unbelievable 578,000 acres. It's a massive footprint that was pushed by dangerous, wind-driven runs, though thankfully it's at 93% containment now. Then there's the Roe Creek Complex at over 373,000 acres, and the Grasshopper Fire on the Mount Hood National Forest nearing 94,000 acres. These megafires are literally altering the physical landscape.
Section 4. Expanding Great Basin Fires.
Shifting our focus south and east, the Great Basin area is currently operating at Preparedness Level 4, and what stands out here are these incredibly fast-moving inland fires. Many of these are brand new. In southern Idaho, the newly emerged Wild Horse Fire north of Kimama has already ripped through nearly 22,000 acres, and it sits at 0% containment. Zero. With wind-driven runs, it is a very active, immediate danger. Over in Nevada, they are juggling extensive multi-fire coordination. The Hawk Fire north of Reno is over 15,000 acres, and the new Sombrero Fire northwest of Winnemucca is at 11,000 acres with just 20% containment. It's just a highly, highly volatile region right now.
Section 5. The Massive Logistical Response.
So the crucial point is this number, 22,356. That is the sheer volume of total personnel assigned to these incidents right now nationwide. Tens of thousands of people coordinating logistics, managing aircraft, and literally digging lines in the dirt against these infernos. But remember, with our domestic resources maxed out at level 5, the United States has actually had to call in the cavalry.
And we are talking about a true global cavalry. It's honestly awe-inspiring to see this level of unity. We currently have an international contingent of 212 fireline personnel and two 15-member incident management teams who flew in from Australia and New Zealand to help out in the Northwest and Great Basin. We also have 240 active-duty U.S. soldiers from the 7th Infantry Division out of Joint Base Lewis McChord deployed on the ground at the Little Giant Fire. And up in the skies, military C-130 air tankers from Colorado, Nevada, and California Air National Guard wings are flying missions out of Klamath Falls, Oregon, and Redding, California. The coordination of all these global and military assets is just phenomenal.
But you know, seeing this massive level of deployment forces us to ask a really tough question. With nearly 8 million acres already burned in 2026 and our military and international backup resources stretched across the American West, how sustainable are our global firefighting resources? If these exact weather recipes and brutal mega-fire seasons are increasingly becoming our new normal, understanding the true scale of this crisis is only step one in figuring out how we're going to adapt to it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.